promote the position of the job so that people can, because people, some the judges in the houses, they don't know if a certain company needs workers. So I think people should, they should advertise job. They should tell the youth that, okay, there's an opportunity here and there and there. Because some people, they don't even have smartphones, so they won't know if there's an opportunity there and there.
이런가 분바 문어 또 프로그램 이런 바 이런 바 이런가 식 이런 거 가이빨이라 마트 머니 슈나가죠. 아이요 뭐 vetu ka puno jugo mango mago porque ni go meni ero ko no jugo ka sema turi ko maro karango no ku shei hono ka kuno jugo hon. Oche no ne ero anin gondiro ne pai phone no to futu ande o video kuni ke evini to mirongo ne na material ne na chango futa Havulando ya tiene tata lyo simana shwa futando ko mo ne ngumo ne kwashinji. Me anenga ngahikuse hona tukonjonga na ono karata. Nene ngahi unjuo atumoni shuna ko kumarukanda. Njuo no mea. Maya pumba kuseho. Luri buku no mapo no karato to se kirangani ya gato mano mea. La menene ngahi uturika kuna maramba meme ko mirema kapene game no mono. Turiga mo mirema de tumo. To henuka tente ko erengwente ko magwa to mirema uri mu piaga de ne kapune game no reshaga.
Most challenge that I'm getting in Windhoek is the increasing of the prices of food. That is very expensive now. It can't be. And the second one is the what must I say? The cooking oil. But it's very expensive. Only improvement maybe that I see is that the relocation in Havana, what they are trying to do, and once they build here in Kurekab Dam, that houses that they built. But there is more that they can do for us in this Khomas region. Really, we are suffering. You see me how I'm struggling here. There is no job.
Living in Katudura and it's already, there's no electricity that side and it's full of shebins. Okay, personally, my school life, I find it very difficult when I'm studying because it's noisy. We use public taps and public toilets and it's not hygienic.
That's right, some of the sentiments coming there from residents of the Khomas region. Top of the morning to you once more. If you're just joining us now, it is the State of the Region address to be delivered by Governor Laura McLeod-Kashirwa in a few moments as she gives an account of the state of the Khomas region. But before we get into that particular speech, I'm joined here by two panelists to help us dissect the state of affairs here in the Khomas region. And they are Ida Nakatana on my right, who is, of course, the country representative for women in agriculture, as well as a farmer joining us this morning. Ida, a very good morning. Thank you for being here this morning.
Thank you very much for having me.
And also on my left, I have a guest who is no stranger to our screens. He's, of course, a lecturer in the Department of Economics, Accounting and Finance at the Namibia University of Science and Technology. That is Mr. Lamek Odada. Very good morning to you, Mr. Odada. Thank you for being here this morning.
Good morning, Dishishi, and it's great to be in the screens once again.
Very much. We appreciate you both being here. Of course, this is a very important platform, just taking stock of the state of affairs here in the Khomas region. Ida, I'd like to start with you. Firstly, what do you make of the State of the Region address as a platform for accountability? And secondly, what do you hope to hear from this particular speech to be delivered by Governor McLeod-Kashirwa?
First and foremost, it's a very important platform, especially for youth, women, and the unemployed. And this platform gives access to information where we can know what the Regional Council has been doing, how policies are being done, how projects are being implemented, and how we can be a part of it, and how we can access these funds. And yeah.
From where you sit, what would you say is the state of the Khomas region as a youth, as a woman, and of course also as an entrepreneur?
It's quite fair. but there's still a lot of work to be done, especially when it comes to opportunities in the entrepreneurial sector. We need more support when it comes to funding SMEs, businesses. As we know, there's a high unemployment rate, and we need the support to start up our businesses to get solutions when it comes to this high unemployment rate.
Absolutely, but there has been some progress indeed. I'm going to turn my attention now to Mr. Odada. First and foremost, looking at the SORAS in its entirety, which was really introduced, since President Gengop came into administration. Since 2016, we've had the SORAS. This is the 8th SORA to be delivered by Governor McLeod Kashirwa. Just firstly, what do you make of this particular platform as a platform for administration and accountability?
Yes, thank you very much. This is a very important platform. Like we've said before, President Hage, when he took over the powers, he has been very consistent in calling for accountability, transparency, and this is one of those platforms whereby for us, the people of the Khomas region now, we get the reporting back from our governor telling us this is what we planned, this is what we have achieved, these are the challenges, and this is the way forward. So it is a very important platform because it's a platform where we can question what has been happening in the region. And honestly, I think it gives everybody a chance to take a scorecard on the performance of the governor.
Yeah. As oftentimes you hear the president say, the governors which directly report to him and are appointed by him are his eyes and ears on the ground. Just how important have these officers become, especially, since President Gengop came into power?
Yes, remember, we do not expect the president to do everything from top to bottom.
Yes.
Therefore, the governors, being the people, his ears in the ground, are very important because they're the people who has to come and and propel the president's mandate at the regional level.
Yes.
So again, if the citizens of a certain region are not happy, they could also use the same platform to voice their concerns, which then will be channeled through to the president's office. Yeah. And having them moved to the president's office is of very high importance because they now directly fall under the leadership that really needs to be interacting with the people on the ground. Right. And therefore, I wouldn't be surprised even if the president himself would be watching just to try and understand, are my people really doing what I expected them to be doing? Of course, we'll be talking about elections next year. Yeah. So many things are coming up. Absolutely. The state of the region, as we know, we've seen just recently, Nampower has been very busy. The city of Windhoek is saying from Monday they're also going to be disconnecting electricity.
We've seen a repo rate increase
yesterday. What if Namwater also joins the fray? Yeah. So we are in a very delicate situation, but again, we are not the only country facing the problem. Khomas will not be the only region with this problem. Again, it's our work together as a team and not saying this is the Khomas Regional Council's work. It's everybody's. Everybody should play a part in helping the region and the president achieve their mandate.
Absolutely. Just from where you sit, what would you say is the state of the Khomas region?
Mixed reaction. Honestly, we talk about high rate of unemployment. We've seen people not being able to pay their bills. That's why Nampower has been disconnecting power. So honestly, the prices of goods, since we are really over-reliant on import from South Africa, big problem. So we really need to figure out what is it, one or two things that we can do within the Khomas region that can save people. Unemployment, we talk about skills, mismatch of skills. So how do we top up the skills, or how do we introduce the new skills? We are now in the space of the green hydrogen. So many things can be done, but the bigger question is, do we have enough funds to do it? We will see. We will wait to hear what the governor has in store for us.
Absolutely, very much indeed. And I'm hearing that the governor is almost ready to deliver her speech. But before we break to her, Ida, just briefly from your side, as a youth, as an entrepreneur once more, what would you like to hear from the governor's speech today, as far as especially youth unemployment is concerned?
What I would love to hear is empowerment projects to empower the youth, mentorship, trainings, funds available to support the youth unemployed, especially in the agriculture sector. As we know, especially in the Khomas region, most youth actually go, they leave Khomas region because communal land is outside. But what can the region do to utilize the land that we have within the Khomas region. As we can see, there is places like Windhoek rural constituencies like Groot Hoop, Spot, where we can utilize this land and empower our youth to produce their vegetables, and they can sell. Yeah.
So, of course, we're looking forward to hearing more from you as somebody who's an expert in that particular field. We'll, of course, continue with the conversation very shortly. That's Lamek Odada, lecturer at the Namibia University of Science and Technology as far as economics, accounting, and finance is concerned, as well as Ida Nakatana, who is, of course, the national representative for women in agriculture, as well as a farmer, just talking to us here before we head into, of course, the chambers, as Governor Laura McLeod Kashirwa is ready to deliver her 2023 State of the Region address. Let's listen in.
My challenge on Khomas region is about a job. And we young people, we are drinking too much. We are in alcohol and drugs abuse. There is no job. We have challenges, we don't have job here. And the last thing I like Khomas, the police are working hard to save us. The government must work hard to give the young people job.
Windhoek is very hard. Living in Windhoek is hard. There is churches here and there, so it's just hard, but maintaining the lifestyle in Windhoek, it's expensive.
Khomas region ye kanye kaura ga nog ba kanye de ma. Veral itska ko o kaduturas na tsisidan ana kabeji horaga se ramu konje toilet or training ana.
We are facing a lot of challenges, especially in Katutura. It's costly, it's just too much, we are not safe. We need protection in the night, especially in Katutura, black chain in the streets. We are not safe anymore. And water is expensive, the bills, let me say. There's no job, employment. And again, as the youth, we don't have work. Like some of us have degrees, and actually we don't have work. A lot of people are looking for jobs. Maybe old people should get retired, and as soon as they retire, then obviously they have to promote the position of the job so that people can, because people, some the judges in the houses, they don't know if a certain company needs workers. So I think people should they should advertise job. They should tell the youth that, okay, there's an opportunity here and there and there. Because some people, they don't even have smartphones, you know, so they won't know if there's an opportunity there and there.
Pafe ironga yapumba muno problema ironga yume pafe ironga shiki. Ironga ka ipalera matu monisho na gashona. Ayo movetu ka bununju go mango mabuke ni go meni ero ko bununju ngasema turiko ko marukarango no kusha iho no ka bununju go hono. Oche no nero aningo ndiro nene pa iPhone no to futu ande uvindo kunike unito mirongo nena matheriga nena chango wafuta. Havula ndo yatiene tata lyo shimali wa futa ndo ko umone nengo ko shinji. Me anenga ngahikuse hono tukonjonga na ono karata. Nene ngahunju atumonishu na ko kumarukanda. Nju ono mea. Maya pumba kuseho. Nuri kukwenda mapo no karato to se kirangani ya gato mano mea. La menene ngahiu turika kuna maramba meme ko mirema kapene game no mono. Turika mo mirema de tumo.
Most challenge that I'm getting in Windhoek is the increasing of the prices of food. That is very expensive now. It can't be. And the second one is what must I say? The cooking oil. But it's very expensive. Only improvement maybe that I see is that the relocation in Havana, what they are trying to do, and once they build here in Kurekab Dam, that houses that they built. But there is more that they can do for us in this Khomas region. Really, we are suffering. You see me how I'm struggling here. There is no job.
Living in Katudura and it's already, there is no electricity that side and it's full of shebins. Okay, personally, my school life, I find it very difficult when I'm studying because it's noisy. We use public taps and public toilets and it's not hygienic.
Blank. I've got my copy here. I almost resorted to manual. help me to move up the protocol. I'm already done with that. It's as much as time is gone. Thank you very much. Just move, just move. Thank you very much. All protocol observed. Honorable Chairperson of the Khomas Regional Council and honorable members, let us as a region seize this opportunity to jointly celebrate our continuous resounding achievements of consistently holding our special session of council to honor our entrusted mandate by Article 110A, subsection 5 and 6 of the Constitution of the Republic of Namibia to present our 8th Khomas State of the Regional Address, as referred to SORA, for the year 2023. The year of revival is officially declared by His Excellency Dr. Hage Geingob, the President of the Republic of Namibia. This commendable continuous achievement is an evident manifestation of our unity of purpose, mutual understanding, and proven sentimental attachment to our collective call of service delivery as governing structure of our beautiful Khomas region. Honorable Chairperson, honorable members, the year 2023 as the year of revival calls for that absolute unity of all governing public and private institutions in the region, including all the service recipients or citizenry, to cement a solid response to our continuing and confronting socio-economic trials and realities of our time in our road to the desired Vision 2030. Today, I am very proud to confirm that we took full ownership of our obligation of development and nation building by employing all available development implements and process to record the following complements as a region. Under economic sector, honorable chairperson, honorable members, the Ministry of Finance and Public Enterprises. Economic advancement pillar, the Ministry of Finance and Public Enterprises, together with financial sector, are currently in the process of drafting the new Namibian financial sector strategy as the previous one ended in 2021. As part of the ended NFSS, the expected outcome was to develop an SME financing strategy. And the SME financing strategy has 3 facilities, namely the Credit Guarantee Scheme, Monitoring and Coaching Program, and Venture Capital Fund. The Credit Guarantee Scheme serves to provide partial collateral guarantee for SMEs obtained loans from participating commercial banks. The commercial banks and government share the risk of loaning to the SMEs on a ratio of 40-60. To date, the institutions have absorbed a combined 14.8 million, with FNB receiving 11,000.3 million and Standard Bank receiving 3.5 million, and creating and/or sustaining 37 SMEs and 299 jobs. Total disbursement for Khomas region under the scheme stood at 8.3 million by 31st January 2023, representing 56% of the total allocation. Monitoring and Coaching Program. The mentoring and coaching program is aimed at equipping the SMEs with building good client knowledge and improved practical skills. DBN received 8.5 million from the Ministry of Finance in October 2023 for the rolling out of the National Monitoring and Coaching Program. I hope you can hear me. Implementation of the National Monitoring and Coaching Program was the beginning of the new year financial April 2023. The Venture Capital Fund. Although the 3 facilities started together, the rollout of the Venture Capital Fund was delayed due to the complexity and nature of the fund. Furthermore, Namibia started with a process of drafting laws to provide for legal basis for a venture capital fund and to create a proper operational framework. To give effect to the process, a framework for the Venture Capital Fund is being developed by DBN under the guidance of the Ministry of Finance. SME Support Program. In addition to the facilities under SME funds, government through the DBN has initiated other funding facilities aimed at upscaling government support to the youth and other targeted groups. These facilities include constituencies' youth entrepreneurial development and skills-based lending facilities for young professionals, youth and women, as well as previously disadvantaged Namibians. Total SME facilities approved stood at 54 million between April and October 2022, of which 10.3 million or 19% was approved for Khomas region. In terms of employment creation, a total of 400 permanent jobs and 652 temporary jobs were created under the scheme, of which 225 permanent jobs and 193 temporary jobs were created for Khomas region. Infrastructure development pillar. The Ministry of Finance and Public Enterprise has the demand to implement the Public-Private Partnership Act of 2017. And with that, the ministry has been engaging with relevant stakeholders for the identification of jobs, projects, and programs that are appropriate for PPP arrangements. The projects on the table below are being implemented in Khomas region. NDT implementation stage development of student village. The project is still at a preparation stage. The feasibility study was completed and presented to the PPP committee as per the PPP Act requirement for the same to obtain. A final decision on transaction approval, one that the committee has to give in consultation with the minister, is still awaited. Ministry of Higher Education Training in an Innovation Facility study, 25 megawatt solar PVT project is at a procurement stage. A conditional transaction approval 2B to issue procurement documents to the shortlisted bidders was granted by the PPP committee. The next stage is to select the preferred bidder from the shortlisted bidders after an evaluation has been completed. The City of Windhoek procurement, the financial education. The implementation of several financial education programs in the Khomas region, a total number of 1,872 individuals and SMEs were reached in the Khomas region through the various financial education programs to improve the public's level of financial literacy and to increase financial inclusion in the country as stipulated in the National Development Plan 5. The enhancement of financial education for the public through financial speed dating by bringing the necessary services from financial institutions to members of the informal settlements, such as the Mix and Korea Hub location, was also executed, during which 143 community members were educated. Financial wellness workplace program were also conducted for 186 employees at different institutions to increase their financial knowledge in order to improve their financial behavior, which will lead to a more productive workforce. The FLI also celebrated World Saving Day by visiting the Okuriangaba open market, where 129 people in the informal markets were exposed to the concept of saving. The household saving game training was also implemented with 51 participants in attendance. Infrastructure sector. Honorable Chairperson, honorable members, the Ministry of Works and Transport. The Ministry of Works and Transport strategic objectives are to ensure a safe, modern, and reliable infrastructure, compliance to policies and acts, and to improve management of state's asset, alienation of government houses. Government houses alienated in the process of alienation as per cabinet decision during the period of May to November 2022. The offers were given to the sitting tenants are as follows: 25 deeds of sales, and the houses bought were 27. This is an ongoing program and is slow, as some of the sitting tenants are complaining about their affordability and that the houses are in a dilapidated state and not well maintained while they are also paying for rent. Maintenance of government properties. Through the Department of Works in the Ministry, the Directorate of Maintenance, installation of palisade fence at Van Rijn Court, construction of sewer line and main hall at Friedhof houses, installation of prepaid water meters at Makalani, Mageti, Verbana, and Blom and Angler flats were completed. Renovation of Luna Court block at flats, renovation of TKCS offices and installation of air conditioners. Ventilation of Khomas Regional Asset Register completed, pending final reports. Installation of pre-water meters at Luitvein Court, Friedhof, Berman flat, while the Florence Court to be conducted this year, 2023. Youth employment creation. The Ministry of Works and Transport engaged the Namibian youth through the Association of the Unemployed Artisan of Namibia, UNAM, to renovate dilapidated government buildings, such as the renovation of 4 Namibian police houses along Robert Mugabe, the renovation of 3 Namibian police houses at Old State House and is still in progress, the renovation of VVIP police office in town, and the interlocking of the Trans-Kalahari Corridor office, the regional road projects, construction of TR9/1 between Windhoek and Hosea Kutako International Airport to freeway standard phase 1, 8 kilometers. The overall progress of the works, the main work is 100% completed. Prosperita Access Road is 89% complete. Construction of TR9/1 Windhoek to Hosea Kutako International Airport to dual carriage standard, phase 2A Sem Nuyoma interchange to Dortapes interchange, 19 kilometers. Mobilization and site establishment works and site clearing and grappling are 100% complete. Math S work is at 70% to complete. Installation of culvert is at 79% to complete. Construction of selected subgrade is at 11% complete. Sub-base work is at 4% to complete. The overall progress of the project, Honorable Black, stands at 55% completion work, and Honorable Rural. Construction of TR9/1 Windhoek to Hosea Kutako International Airport to dual carriage standard, phase 2B Dortapes intersection or interchange to Hosea Kutako International Airport, 21 kilometers. Mobilization and site establishment work is 100% complete. Earthwork is at 8% to complete. Installation of culverts is at 33%. To complete the overall process of the project, stand at 10% completed work. Rehabilitation and upgrading of TR1/6 between Windhoek and Okahanja section 4A extension of Makunde interchange to Ochiwarongo to dual carriage, which is 21 kilometers. Mobilization and site establishment activities are 100% completed. Roadbed preparation work is 100% completed, while mass earthwork is 78% completed. Bridge and culverts work is 81% complete. The construction of the selected subgrade is at 75% complete. The sub-base layer works is at 67%, while base layer work is at 62%. Application of first slurry seal work is at 45%. To complete application and second slurry seal is at 20% to complete. The overall process of the project stands at 70% completed work. The National Housing Enterprise, NHE, informal settlement upgrading projects. This project is an initiative of four institutions, NHE, MURT, KRC, and the City of Windhoek. Under this project, NHE had completed and handed over a total of 1,540 houses, while a total of 16 houses are currently under construction. Further to this, 18 plans are submitted for approval to the City of Windhoek. What are the challenges with NHE? Bulk service and town planning from the City of Windhoek is hampering the speedy construction of houses under this program. NHE has also embarked on a new aggressive marketing campaign in order to attract more clients to this program. Development of general residential properties. NHE has also started with the development process of the following residential properties to be completed by the end of 2023. Others are still in the planning phase. 38 townhouses in Ochomwise, Windhoek 38, July 2023 and December 2023, just for the period of 6 months. Townhouses in Koreahap, Windhoek the 30th of 2024, December and 2024 for 6 months. And then townhouses in Khomas 20th July to 2024, December is also for 6 months. And the total of these houses, there are 88. Social sector, Honorable Chairperson, Honorable Members, the Ministry of Gender, Equality, Poverty and Eradication and Social Welfare. Conditional Basic Income Grant. In April 2022, the Ministry has converted the Food Bank program into a monthly cash transfer grant of 500 Namibian dollars as a first step to phase in the introduction of the Conditional Basic Income Grant. Furthermore, in October 2022, the Conditional Basic Income Grant amount increased from 500 Namibian dollar to 600 Namibian dollars in October 2022 to caution the residents against raising food prices. A total number of 4,511 beneficiaries from Khomas region are currently benefiting, accounting to 56% of the total program beneficiaries. The expenditure for Khomas region stands at 2.7 million. However, the Conditional Basic Income Grant is currently only benefiting the existing Food Bank program beneficiaries, but it will be scaled up in the future to benefit all the Namibians. Social Assistance Grant. The Ministry has spent about 41.6 million on social grant, which means it's the old age pension and the disability, and 5.9 million on orphan and vulnerable children grants, especially in Khomas region. In addition, the region received 13% of old age pension and disability grant and 6.7% of OBC grant. Total expenditure on social grant and national proportional share beneficiaries in Khomas, share of the national beneficiaries, old age grant and disability grant, they are, 13%. OBC grant is 23,000, you're recording there, 23,854, which stands at 6.7%. The OBC, the foster parents is at 454, children disabilities 1,196, maintenance grant is 7,600. And vulnerable children grant, we have a number of 14,604. Community development, a total number of eight AGs beneficiaries, which means 6 females and 2 males, were supported with materials and equipment through the Income Generating Activities Support Program. The Ministry has capacitated around 178 potential women entrepreneurs on generate your business idea and start your business training package through the acceleration of women-owned micro-enterprise program. An amount of 2.5 million was transferred to the Khomas Regional Council account towards the upgrading and operational of Early Childhood Development Center in the region. Gender equality. Several community sensitization workshops and meetings were held on GBV prevention and response, which sensitized a total number of 829 people in the region. The special programs. The ministry has assisted burial services of 8 vulnerable children, mostly children living and working on the streets. The service rendered was at a value of 45,000 Namibian dollars. Disability affairs. A total number of 19 students with disability in Khomas region that are enrolled at various institutions of higher learning were assisted financially through the Students' Grant Program. The value of the financial assistance and support was valued at around 467,000. The individual support program was launched during the commemoration of International Day of Persons with Disability in Khomas region. About 60 beneficiaries were assisted in Khomas region with various items, ranging from diapers, nappies, formula milk, and portable toilets. Office of the Governor. Besides the pressing economic hardship we endure and the limited resources at our disposal, our office remains focused and consistent in its community empowerment endeavor to bring the needed difference in the livelihood of our inhabitants through the following assistance to this promising community initiative and pressing education obligation. Financial assistance to Emmanuel Shefeni, AIDS Foundation Birthday Soccer Tournament, honoring 10 years as HIV/AIDS philanthropic, at the value of 5,516 Namibian dollars. The financial assistance to Samuel Murare and NAS students at the value of 12,320. Financial assistance to Mrs. Rosalia Shiwanda, Velvicia Health Training College at a value of 10,000. Financial assistance to Katutura Elderly Citizens Christmas event at the value of 10,597. And financial assistance to the Apple Planting Training Workshop at John Pandeni at a value of 5,620. Kitchen appliances for the Windhoek main police holding cells to improve fitting provision service to the inmates and toiletries, and that is at an amount of 186,000 Namibian dollars, 649. The handover of the police cell kitchen appliances is currently delayed by delivery from the suppliers, but they will be supplied to you. Meat processing equipment for the Kamukwatange, Taukonjo, and Loisa trading project at an amount of 106,000 Namibian dollars. The meat processing equipment for the LGH Meat House and Investment CC project at an amount of 116,000 Namibian dollars. And dustbin cleaning equipment and machines for the Bright Beast Investment dustbin cleaning project for the people living with disability at an amount of 72,000. The 2023 Governors' Cup Tournament for the selection and preparedness for the Khomas Regional Soccer and the Netball team for the News Cup preparation at a value of 442,043 rather. The financial injection was rewarded with the claiming of the Netball Cup for the second time consecutively. Can we give them a hand of applause there? Just stop there. Can I request those that receive those donations from the Office of the Governor, if you are present, can you stand up for me? Just stand up for me. I know we invited you to come here. Those are some of our beneficiaries. And I'm sure they are proud of receiving what they received. Thank you very much. My office still went further and provided netball techies for the netball team players to the tune of 10,000. 122 boys and 97 girls school shoes for the Back to School 2023 program, at a cost of 79,000. The Office of the Governor received 40 wheelchairs from Rainy Group plus 400 water containers and 146 boxes of water purification tablets from the Ministry of Health and were handed over as follows. 40 wheelchairs to the Directorate of Health. My director is there. Your testimony to that. 40 water containers per constituency. 14 boxes of water purification tablets per constituency. And now the Namibia Red Cross Society project implemented COVID-19 risk communication and community engagement, which ended in January 2023. The aim was to promote uptake of the COVID-19 vaccine and share information. Volunteers worked in conjunction with 6 clinics in the region. Current project of Namibia Red Cross is the promotion of nutrition education among pregnant women, lactating mother and children under 5 years old, and door-to-door visits. The Namibian Red Cross also supports people in distress through our social assistance fund support. In the last year in the Khomas region, they provide social assistance through the cash and voucher modality for 21 families at the cost of each 600 Namibian dollars. Now the Khomas Regional Council, KRC, education program. The Khomas Regional Council continues to strive for improvement in terms of access to education, quality education, and efficiency and effectiveness in education. In terms of infrastructure and maintenance development, a total of 49 classrooms were constructed at various schools respectively, namely Monte Cristo Primary School, 12 classrooms, Mount View High School, 12 classrooms, Michelle McLean, 4 classrooms, Pioneers Park Primary School, 2 classrooms, Gamams Primary School, 2 classrooms, MH Krievs, 5 classrooms, and Beth El Primary School, 12 classrooms, at a total value of 14.9 million. Each classroom holds a seating capacity of 35 learners, hence creating additional space for 1,680 learners. Likewise, a total of 8 pre-primary classrooms were constructed at Gamams Primary School, MH Grief Primary School, Urban Primary School, and Pioneers Park Primary School at a total value of 1.6 million. In addition, construction of ablution blocks and facilities is underway at Grootaup Primary School, Grootaup Junior Secondary School, Mixed Settlement Primary School, Mount View, Greenleaves, Namibia Primary School, Koreahab Dam Junior Secondary School, Bethel Himumwine, Tio Kashimune, Auke Kas, I'm sure that name is not correct, but Blokrans, Monte Cristo, Gamams, MH Krief, Pioneers Park Primary School, Olof Palme, Faith Primary School, Moses Garweb, Mati Atisari, as well as LM at the value of 10.3 million. Other projects that were embarked on are such as the completed library laboratory at Rocky Crest High School and Koreahab Junior School, construction of an administration block at Greenleaves Primary School, ongoing construction of a library and laboratory at Acacia School, ongoing construction of hostel facilities at Grootaup Junior Secondary School, and completed borehole drill at Blokrans Primary School. The total cost for these projects is 8.84 million Namibian dollar. Further, the construction of the state-of-the-art Havana Secondary School has been completed at a cost of 87 million Namibian dollars. The project involved the construction of 32 classrooms with a seating capacity of 35 learners each, which is benefiting 1,120 learners. The construction of 8 classrooms at Monte Cristo Primary School with an estimated capacity of 320 learners was completed in 2022 at a cost of around 2.8 million. Regarding the Namibian schools fitting program in the region during the period under review, a total of 16,402 learners out of 66,569 learners benefited from this program. The fitting program targeted learners from pre-primary up to grade 7. The Khomas Regional Council will continue with the construction of classrooms to cater for the high number of enrollment rates experienced by the region every year, thus ensuring quality education to the future generation. NAMCOL Scholarship Program. The Khomas Regional Council assisted 110 NAMCOL students to upgrade their grade 11 and 12 results to a tune amount of 148,000 in 2023. And this program will be implemented on a yearly basis. Financial Assistance Program, the Khomas Regional Council assisted 76 students starting at accredited high institution of learning with a combined registration fee amounting to 219,000 Namibian dollars. Plans are made for the next year to provide the registration grant to the learners from our region that experience shortage of funds to register at accredited high institutions of learning in our beautiful country. Minor capital projects. A budget amount of 13 million was availed to implement 22 projects, of which 9 are completed and 13 is at a various stage of implementation, and that is as follows. Dagbreek School Aquaponic at a value of 600,000. Renovation of Hakahana Clinic, Moses Garwep at a value of 194. You see, you changed my things, but it's okay. Construction of Module 3 classroom block at Olof Palme, Samora Machel constituency at a value of 231,000. It is completed. Construction of Model 2 classroom block at Mount View, Khomasdal constituency at a value of 720,000. Procurement of laboratory equipment at Ashipena Secondary School, John Pandeni constituency at a value of 892 is also completed. Renovation of classroom block at Jan Moore, Windhoek West constituency, 434 Namibian dollars is also completed. The procurement of computers, Wi-Fi for Rosing Foundation Library, Comrade Kashaimo Katutura Central constituency at the value of 333,000 Namibian dollar. Procurement of computer at Fidel Castro Primary School, Topias Ainyeko at a value of 390. Procurement of school chairs and desk for Mount View Secondary School and all of Palme Primary School in Topias Ainyeko and Samora Machel constituency at a value of that 780. The procurement of computers for Greenwell Matongo Library, Samora Machel constituency at a value of 692,000. Construction of kitchen at Moses Garwep Primary School, Moses Garwep constituency at a value of 350,000. Construction of a kitchen at Namibia Primary School, Katutura Central, at a value of 1.3 million. And the 13th project is the procurement of medical equipment for doctors' consulting room at Hakahana Clinic, Moses Garwep constituency, at 602. And the renovation of hall and kitchen at Namibia, National Training Organization, WVTC Windhoek West, in this case, 916 Namibian dollars. Then the expansion of Wi-Fi service for Jacob Morenga. Secondary school, that is again Katutura Central constituency at a value of 892. Project number 16, the construction of prefabricated clinic at Mixed Settlement. That is Windhoek Rural constituency, and that project is ongoing. The procurement of 8 CCTV cameras for Samora Machel constituency at a value of 563 is also ongoing. Procurement of neighborhood watch for Windhoek West constituency at a value of 582. Project number 19, the renovation and repair works including the air conditioning system at Katutura Health Center, Katutura Central constituency at a value of $500,000. Director of Health. Renovation and repair works at Dongerbos Clinic, Katutura East constituency at a value of $1.5 million. And the procurement of computers for Topia Sainyeko Primary School, Topia Sainyeko constituency at a value of 250. And then the procurement of the same computers for Windhoek West, Seiterhof Primary School at a value of 250. Furthermore, the following projects are approved for the implementation in 2020-23 and 2024 financial year. Construction of Module 4 classroom at Westmont Secondary School, Khomas constituency. Construction of Module 4 classroom at Greenleafs Primary School, Topia Sainyeko. Procurement of an ambulance for the Ministry of Health and Social Services by the Khomas Regional Council. Installation of high mast street lights at Samora Machel constituency. Procurement of laboratory equipment for Acacia High School, Khomas constituency water intervention projects, program with regard to the provision of water infrastructure, particularly to the rural residents of the region. The Regional Council has allocated resources towards the drilling of boreholes and installation of water infrastructure in the Windhoek Rural constituency. A budget of amount of 3.2 million has been allocated to the water intervention program. One borehole was installed, connected 4-kilometer water pipeline, erect 2 times 10,000 liters water tank and 1 kettle trough at Garutes in the Windhoek Rural constituency at a total cost of 341,000 Namibian dollars. In 2022-2023 financial year, a budget amount of 4.3 million has been allocated for the water intervention program. Deepening and installation of Saturn slot at a value of 638, rehabilitation of a borehole at a deep river at 596 or 39. This includes installation of a booster pump to pump the water to other camps on the farm, installation of 9 solar panels, 6 at a borehole and 3 at a booster pump. Removal of old casing and installation of new ones and other associated accessories. Procurement of equipment for water connection at Ongombo West at a value of 36,000. In addition, the Directorate of Water Supply and Sanitation Coordination in the Ministry of Agriculture, Water and Land Reform purchase material and equipment for the water installation at a cost of 1.5 million to the region. The materials were used to rehabilitate 2 water points, namely Ongombo West, Verdrek, with assistance from the Directorate of Water Supply and Sanitation Coordination. The Council is committed to make budgetary provision every year to ensure the provision of potable water for human and animals consumption, as well as for the industries in the rural areas of the region in the form of drilling, installation, rehabilitation of boreholes, and construction of water water pipelines, income generating activities program. To address unemployment, the Khomas Regional Council has continued with the SME support program called the IGAS program, under which SME are assisted with equipment and material at a total value of 1.5 million, which was spent in 2022-2023 to finance 182 projects, ranging from catering businesses, fashions, design, laundry services, arts and craft, and graphics, weddings, and daycare centers. Budgetary provision amounting to 2.5 million will be available for the implementation of the income-generating activities for the next financial year. Rural Development Program. Rural development programs benefit the most vulnerable unemployed youth, SME, elderly, and previously disadvantaged groups. The projects aim at improving sanitation, creating employment, promoting entrepreneurship development in rural area, and contributing to the country economy and poverty reduction. A total amount of 76,000 was spent in 2022-2023 financial year to implement 7 projects within Windhoek Rural Constituency. All the projects benefited since the MOU, and the terms of conditions were clearly explained to the project's members. Council will continue to support rural development intervention by availing budget for the implementation of similar programs in the rural area. An estimated amount of around 350,000 Namibian dollars will be budgeted for this program. The Rural Sanitation Program, the Council strives to improve sanitation for the rural community to evade the danger of open defecation. For the 2022-2023 financial year 23-24, we will implement a hybrid model of environmental-free tri-pit latrine and wet toilet for the communities that are closer to water. A budget for about 1.6 million will be availed for this intervention. Why don't you give them a good hand of applause? That's a good one, so that I can also breathe. HIV/AIDS coordination program, the current Khomas Regional Council leadership was able to increase the budget from 150,000 to 500,000. On the food program, as a long-standing commitment, the Regional Council was able to reach out to a high number of 199 vulnerable individuals with food parcels who are living with HIV, and identified those in extreme need and unable to take their ARV medication due to insufficient food in 9 constituencies at a cost of 68,000 Namibian dollars. And in the 2022-23 financial year, the aim of this initiative is to ensure that the livelihood of the needy people living with HIV and OVCs are improved. This is a highly valued core aspect of the program, since it practically touches directly at spots where the needy people living with HIV are affected the most. The involvement, ongoing counseling, and provision of basic food to those in extreme need who otherwise were to default from their treatment due to starvation. Community field workers are sensitized to identify the need for food support. An estimated budgetary provision of about 1.2 million will be availed for the implementation of HIV activities in the region in 2023-2024 financial year. Winter Safety Net Program. KRC has observed with concern the increase in the number of persons living on the streets, under the bridges, and without shelter. In an effort to assist, KRC has availed a budget amount of half $500,000 to procure, purchase blankets and winter clothing for people without shelter. This program has been implemented across all 10 constituencies in the region. A total number of 1,100 blankets were procured in 2022, benefiting 1,100 beneficiaries. For the year 2023-24 financial year, Council will budget an amount of $500,000 for continuous implementation of this very program, back to school program. Over the past years, the KRC office has been flogged by parents who are finding it hard to make ends meet on buying school uniforms and providing stationery for their children. KRC has availed a budget of $500,000 to buy a back-to-school parcels for learners. This program benefited 343 learners from 33 schools in the region. An amount of the same amount will be set aside in 2023-2024 financial year to benefit more vulnerable learners in the region. The Khomas Health Directorate, the region now has 2 social workers allocated to the Gender-Based Violence Unit. This is meant to support the GBV mitigation efforts, which are on an increase in the alarming rate. 104 GBV-related cases were dealt with and provided with psychosocial support services. Awareness campaign on suicide prevention held in Khomas region constituencies and schools. Yes, the campaign involved also media presentation, joint radio live talk shows in collaboration with Khomas Suicide Prevention Task Force and Columbia Lighthouse Project. The Khomas Health Facilities or Directorate extended operational hours for the 3 most busiest clinics, and that is the Khomas Dal, Oshomwise, and Okuriangaba, from 8 o'clock to 1900 hours during the week, and open on Saturday from 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock. This relief is provided to public and to alleviate pressure and congestion on Katutura Health Center within the confinement of the resources available. The plan is to continue with the extended operation hours at the 3 busiest clinics to decongest and reduce waiting time at Katutura Health Center, and most importantly, in order to improve health services delivery in our region. The city of Windhoek, Mayor. This team has 2 strategies objectives, namely empowerment of the youth, orphans, women, pensioners, and vulnerable persons, and increase access to services. The narrative implementation process is reported as per strategic objective basic service informal settlement. Funds amounting to a total of $50 million were received from the Ministry of Urban and Rural Development towards the improvement of living conditions in the informal settlement of Windhoek during 2019 to 2020 financial year. For the 2021-22 period, $15.3 million was allocated for the provision of basic services in the form of approximately 267 water meter points and 267 communal toilets spread over 37 different informal settlements within 7 constituencies, an individual and sewer connection to approximately 34 households of a saving group in Sambesi Street, Havana. Land delivery. A 70% performance score was achieved on the number of service plots available in all land use category scheme, and 84% under affordable houses provided via the mass housing, Windhoek Housing Build Together scheme. And on the land sales, properties to the value of $332.9 million were sold by tender method. during the 2021-22 period, of which Erven, valued at 79.9 million, are earmarked for the city of Windhoek and the remaining balance for the private partnership. Formalization of the informal settlement. As part of the mass planning project aimed at creating 14,000 Erven in the informal settlements over a period of 4 years, the council supported the following. Establishment of a township to be known as Korea Hub Extension 6. The submission created 145 new Erven with a yield of 200 dwelling units. Establishment of a township to be known as Korea Hub Extension 7. The subdivision created 226 new Erven with a yield of 252 dwelling units. Establishment of a township to be known as Havana Extension 11. The subdivision created 195 new Erven with a yield of 192 dwelling units, and a total of 862 leases were signed for ownership during the period under review. Water security. Aquafe recharge scheme and annual water quality, compliance of potable water quality to applicable standard, fluctuates from 94% in the 2020-2021 period to 99% per quarterly performance, with a yearly average performance of 98%. Procurement of consultation services for the confirmation of the groundwater protection area of the Southern Aquifer is prioritized for the year 2022-2023 financial year. Electricity supply. Ministerial approval was obtained from the NAM Power to lease land earmarked for the Khomas intake. NAM Power has earmarked or embarked on the procurement process of long lead items and geotechnical investigation to increase the electricity capacity from 160 megawatts to 210 megawatt supply. The council supplied 788 demarcated households in informal settlements with access to electricity services, whereas contractors for the electrification of informal settlement phase 5 were scheduled to commence during 2022-2023 financial year. I'll move on to administration sector. Honorable Chairperson, honorable members, the Ministry of Higher Education, Training and Innovation status update on the implementation of the key projects and programs. The medical schools at the University of Namibia has introduced a number of new programs, which include schools and dentistry, schools of pharmacy, and school of allied health sciences. Total number of students in the School of Medicine in 2022 stands at 550 students, while the School of Pharmacy has 37 students doing diploma in pharmacy, 199 B.Pharm, 29 master in pharmacy, and 5 doctorate PhDs. Other new programs that were introduced are medical laboratory and rehabilitation science. UNAM, in collaboration with the government of India and Germany, has successfully constructed facilities for the Faculty of Civil Engineering at UNAM Jose Eduardo dos Santos Campus. The Namibia University of Science Technology has constructed a high-tech transfer plaza and a collaboration with MTC. This facility will be used in promoting innovation and research and development capacity in Namibia. NAS has introduced specialized programs that seek to support the quality of training in the country, TVET programs. The National Council for Higher Education continue to accreditate higher education programs for both public and private higher education institutions. in order to further improve quality of higher education provision. The following initiatives were implemented. Collected and collated students and staff data from public and private institutions. A total of 70,058 students pursued higher education program in Namibia in 2022. Majority of these students, which stands at 42,825, which is 61%, were enrolled at the two public institutions, the UNAM and NAST of Science, referring to the above. In order to respond to the impact of COVID-19, the IT infrastructure at our public universities, UNAM and NAST, has been successfully upgraded. This included increased bandwidth, upgraded storage, modern computer facilities, and etc. With this upgraded, the public universities are able to roll out blended teaching and learning, and thus enhance access to online teaching and learning. UNAM Research and Innovation Department has developed 8 prototypes from indigenous plants and fruit which are now ready for commercialization. UNAM, through the Drug Discovery and Diagnostic Laboratory, developed malaria prophylaxis tea from indigenous plant and Conodema mushrooms. UNAM collaborated with Namibia Agronomic Board to develop new improved cultivar of maize, peel millet, wheat, potatoes, and sesame, where an amount of 2 million was sourced. Key achievement for the year under the review at UNAM. UNAM graduated 5,852 graduates in 2022. Among the graduates, 27 doctorate and 300 master's degree. Graduate contributing to a higher level, skills and expertise in the country and globally, and knowledge production to resolve societal challenges. NAST enrollment has increased to 11,226. Enrollment in management stays at 5,400, while enrollment in STEM, which stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, is about 5,800. NAST TVET faculty promote research, innovation, and entrepreneurs in Tibet. NAST has a total of 12,340 registered students during the 2021 academic year. About 80%, which is 9,789 of the students, passed their examination, while 20%, which is 2,274, either failed or were absent for examination. The dropout rate was relatively low at 0.6%, which translates to 77 students. The challenges and opportunities encountered during the year under review. The main challenges facing UNAM and NAST remain reducing subsidy to meet the increasing need of access to equitable quality higher education, with the review to produce graduates with the requisite knowledge, skills, value, and attitudes, and who can compete in a global competitive context. It further has resulted in reduced critical services for students, putting significant strains on current resources. Furthermore, private institutions also contribute to students' access to higher education by providing courses that are not offered at the public universities. As such, 2 institutions were registered as private higher education institutes in 2022. The challenge here is, however, that the majority of the higher education institutes are concentrated in specific regions, mainly in the Khomas region, and specific discipline, notably education, business and commerce, and nursing. These situations calls for a national policy on higher education to regulate enrollment planning at geographical and discipline level. Unregistered private institutions are also a threat to the quality of higher education in the country, as they do not conform to the prescribed quality standard. This challenge is being addressed through public education and enlisting the support of the law enforcement institutions. Key programs and projects planned for 2023 as the Momentum for Green Solutions and Green Energy Intensifier NAS Future Focus is aimed and primed on using technology to address fundamental basic needs for the local and global context. In this respect, NAS is committed to the following: international collaboration on food, energy, and water security, strengthening cooperation between higher education institutions in Africa will increase access to quality education and will encourage and enable African students to undertake postgraduate studies in the African continents in the area of food, energy, and water security. Public safety and water sector. Honorable Chairperson, honorable members, I'm almost there. Judiciary key activities and achievements, performance of the courts. The percentage of the judgment delivered in the Supreme Court increased from 79.6% in 2021 to 94% in 2022. The High Court has two divisions, the main division in Windhoek and the Northern Local Division in Oshakati. The court work is divided into two civil stream and criminal stream. The general output of the court remains satisfactory. The civil stream judges in both divisions attended to 10,014 civil actions. Of this total, 6,465 matters were finalized in both divisions, representing a 65% clearance rate. The civil stream judges delivered 522 judgments during the period under review, 69% of them in the main division, which is the Windhoek division. A total of 1,012 civil cases were referred to court, connected mediation in both divisions, resulting in 332 out-of-court settlements, representing a success rate of 47.8% for the main division, Windhoek. For both divisions, the judges of the criminal stream presided over 140 criminal cases. 20 cases were completed by the main division. Windhoek, on the other hand, had a finalized rate of 17%. 57 cases remain on the court's part, had role as a carryover to the 2023 legal year. A total of 63 cases on the criminal roll from both divisions involved violence against women and children, 21 involved either fraud or theft, and 10 involved human trafficking. During the period under review, the High Court attended to 2,917 criminal review from the lower courts and finalized 2,135 of them. That represent about 70% of the review cases. The judges of the criminal stream also had 151 criminal appeals and finalized 142, which represent a 98% clearance rate in the main division here in Windhoek. The performance of the lower courts in the year 2022 has not improved appreciably. For us to see a reduction in the pending cases, we need more magistrates. The magistracy dealt with 64,536 cases over the period under review. This shows an increase of 10.4% from the 2021 legal year. A total of 26,756 cases were finalized. This means that 9,065 more cases were finalized compared to the previous year. The result is that 37,983 cases were carried over to January 2023. In the aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic, the office held a face-to-face opening of the legal year on the 8th February 2023. This important occasion focuses public attention on the administration of justice and the rule of law. Economic advancement. The Office of the Auditor General conducted regular performance and compliance audit as required by the Section 25(1)(c)(3) of the State Finance Act 1991. Since the establishment of the office in 2016, we are pleased to report that all the audits conducted so far, including the 2020-2021 financial, the Office of the Auditor General issued an unqualified opinion which demonstrates the office's commitment to ensure compliance with the governance and accountability framework established for all state institutions to operate within. Infrastructure development. The Office of the Judiciary has a total number of 72 buildings which are aging and require serious attention in respect of renovation. Only a few were carried out in the year under review. This involved fixing of identified defects. Due to budgetary constraints, only a number of maintenance were carried out. An assessment of building was carried out in 2021, and the report revealed that an amount of 15 million is required from the Treasury to renovate the courts, the courthouses, and official accommodation that are dilapidated. The plans for 2023, the office is working towards implementing the following reform. Proposed reform, significance of the reform, something there with my, you did not correct that one, NBC, just go up, go, just go, no, move up, move again. Special Court's implementation of Special Court for Corruption and Wildlife Crime on regional and district level. The Amendment Act of Criminal Procedure Act 57 of 77. Move. Magistrates Court Act Amendment Bill. Increase, maybe should be increase the civil monetary jurisdiction of the magistrate courts to secure access to affordable legal services. Small Criminal Courts Bill to provide for establishment of courts for adjudication of small civil claims under the Small Claims Procedure. Special arrangements are put in place where cases of a commercial nature with a value below 25,000 are expediently handled without services of a legal practitioner. Appointment of presiding officers, the making of rules for small claims court, and to provide for matters incidental therefore. Divorce bill, the bill will advise the law on divorce relating to civil marriages in Namibia. The bill will further aim at eliminating fault-based grounds. Move, and just move. Simplify the divorce procedure in instances where parties have no real dispute about their divorce or the terms of the divorce. Give designated regional magistrate jurisdiction and competence to make divorce orders, orders for nullify of marriages and related orders, and give courts sufficient discretionary powers to distribute marital property fairly. And then formalize the concept of spousal maintenance in respect of divorce and introduce the concept of periodical allowances in respect of our marriage or marriage dissolved by orders of annulment of marriage. Ensure that before the granting of the divorce order or orders of annulment of marriage, matters pertaining to custody and guardianship or access to children below the age of 18 are sufficient, clarified, and that additional protection are put in place to ensure that children's best interests are met. You hear that one? We are in trouble. Anti-Corruption Commission, the examining system, practice, and procedures during the period between the 1st of April 22 and 1st of March 31st of March 2023, the Anti-Corruption Commission has conducted 2 corruption risk assessment in the Republic of Namibia in the sectors of public sectors in Khomas region, monitoring and evaluation of the corruption risk mitigation during the period under review. The ACC Directorate of Public Education and Corruption Prevention development in monitoring and evaluation template that is envisaged as revised and pilot test in the Ministry of Home Affairs, Immigration, Safety and Security. Public education on corruption, the Anti-Corruption Commission uses ethic and integrity training as an effective tool to strengthen a culture of integrity, trust, and the highest standard of ethic in both private and public bodies, for the purpose of facilitating and creating an honest workplace and workforce within the society. This is an awareness campaign conducted in both private and private bodies, public and private bodies, to educate members of the workforce in both the public and private sector in the Khomas region on the danger and impact of corruption. The ACC conducted these activities at 11 institutions in the Khomas region, of which more than 451 officials were sensitized on corruption and issues relating to the maintenance of ethic and integrity standards at the workplace and are not involved in the corrupt practices. The peer-to-peer alliances consultative meeting, the ACC, through the Directorate of Public Education and Corruption Prevention and in collaboration with the GDZ, embarked upon the benchmarking exercise aimed at allowing its staff members to learn from other anti-corruption agencies across the globe. One such workshop was held in Windhoek, Khomas region, Namibia, in April 2022, bringing together under one roof participants from Germany, Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania for the purpose of exchanging lessons learned and exploring possible review ideas to be embarked upon by participants. Implementation of the second National Anti-Corruption Strategy and Action Plan, induction of a cluster and validation of the strategic plan, monitoring and evaluation plan meeting. The ACC, through the Directorate of Public Education and Corruption Prevention, organized and coordinated the National Anti-Corruption Strategy and Action, which was held in Khomas region at NIPAM during 2022. A total number of 15 clusters of meetings were held on a quarterly basis, and an induction session of the cluster members and validation of the plan, monitoring and evaluation plan meetings was held in June 2022 at Avani Hotel in Windhoek. The Strategic Plan Khomas Regional Forum, as part of this plan 2021 to 2025 implementation, the ACC, in collaboration with the Khomas Governor's Office, held the Strategic Plan Khomas Regional Forum in October 2022. Investigation for alleged corrupt practices by ACC. On investigation in the financial year 2022-2023, the ACC office in Khomas region had received 91 reports of alleged corruption practices and managed to investigate only 858, which is 64% cases, while 36% which were not done and are carried over to 2023-2024 financial year. By the end of the financial year 2022-2023, Khomas backlog cases are standing at 243, cases, of which investigation is still ongoing. ACC notable cases investigated as submitted to the Ministry of Mines and Energy, the lithium case, where a technical person at the Ministry of Mines and Energy was alleged to an amount of 50 million by a Chinese person in order to facilitate the acquisition of an EPL license and or a mining license. Namibia Students Financial Assistance Fund case, where a former employee of NASFAF corruptly transferred NASFAF fund to individuals that were not loan holders and benefited unduly. The matter is submitted to the Office of the PG for a decision in terms of Section 31. The Namibian Assembly case, National Assembly, yes, we know it, Parliament case in all 3 staff members who corruptly abused their position and misappropriated fund to the sum of, I didn't disclose the amount. The 3 mentioned staff members were arrested and brought to the Windhoek Magistrate Court. The matter is submitted to the Office of the PG for a decision in terms of Section 31 of the Anti-Corruption Act. The challenges affecting the ECC. Currently, the ratio to the population of 2.5 million is roughly 85,000 per investigator, and the following are the main factors that delay trials and investigations. Lack of special courts dealing with corruption cases, decentralization, short of manpower, witnesses get discouraged due to delay in criminal court trials, amendment to the Act, other legal instruments to effectively fight corruption, implementation of the Whistleblower Act. The international relations. Give me a hand. The Khomas Regional Council and Jiangsu Province Twinning Partnership is growing from strength to strength and recorded another resounding success this year with the signing of a letter of intent between the Jiangsu Agriculture Animal Husbandry Vocational College and the New Dam Agricultural College. The letter of intent is for a joint development of animal husbandry and ecological health, breeding technology, feed production, and processing technology, personnel training and construction of livestock feed machinery, production of enterprises in Khomas region. This cooperation will also include the students' scholarship to study at this Jiangsu Agricultural Animal Husbandry Vocational College and institutional personnel and students exchange program. Apart from the signing of the cooperation agreement, Jiangsu Province donated 50,000 yen poultry and sheep pellet feed to the Office of the Governor as handed over to New Dam Agricultural College right on the spot. Through the existing solid cooperation between China Embassy in Namibia and the Khomas Governor's Office, the Beijing Western Sunshine Rural Development Foundation donated a pre-primary facility to be erected at Moses van der Bijl Primary School, Katutura Central constituency in due course. We'll bring it to you. The Khomas Governor's Office facilitated a pilot potato seeds project at New Dam Agricultural College, which culminated in the envisaged new potato seeds production with the MOU in pipeline with the University of Namibia and SAS. If you can read the newspaper today, that story is in there, is making a success. Just go. Good. Honorable Chairperson, honorable members, the challenges. Over the past years, Khomas Regional Council did not get developmental budget allocation despite submission of several proposals in the form of projects identification forms, PIF or PIF. Despite the latter, the Khomas Regional Council used own resources to implement programs and projects. Very, very important to take note of. unfounded mandate functions are delegated to the regions without enough resources, and inadequate urban and rural land for development makes it difficult for the region to effect development. Rural-urban migration maximizes competition on valuable resources. People are flocking to Khomas region to seek for better opportunities, and we are not complaining. The problem is not only hampering the region development plans, but also affecting service delivery, such as access to clean water and sanitation and the placement of learners in our schools. Unavailability of sex disaggregated or gender data some sectors to inform planning and programming, and prevalence of GBV, as well as limited funds to execute social assistance program and services. Recommendations. The regional projects identification form must be submitted to the National Planning Commission, should be considered to pave way for implementation of development projects in the region. The decentralization process needs to be fast-tracked, and all delegated functions must be well-resourced for improved service delivery and addressing the needs of the region inhabitants. In conclusion, as the coordinating arm of the region, I would like to register my gratitude and compliment to all the stakeholders for our proven concerted effort, which culminated in this evidence, record and resounding achievement with our fewer resources. This achievement must never give us any reason to relax, because development is a never-ending process and challenge of youth, women, unemployment, housing, land delivery, provision of basic services, and gender-based violence are still dominating our service delivery priority list. Honorable Chairperson, honorable members, all those that came here to listen to the address of the SORA, thank you very much for coming, and allow me to say long live Khomas region and long live the land of the brave. I thank you for your kind, long attention. Thank you. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Honorable Governor. We now move
That's right, Namibia, 1 down, 13 more to go as Governor of the Khomas region, Lauren McLeod Kashirwa, just delivered her 2023 State of the Region address accounting for the state of affairs here in the Khomas region. Quite a comprehensive 31-page speech, and we now dissect, of course, with our guests this morning. That's a lecturer at the Namibia University of Science and Technology in the Department of Economics, Accounting and Finance. That's Lamek Odada, as well as Ida Nakatana, who is the country representative of Women in Agriculture, and she's also a farmer. Ladies and gentlemen, we continue, of course, with our conversation. Lamek, let me perhaps start with you. Firstly, what is your take on that speech just delivered there by Governor McLeod Kashirwa?
Of course, the governor started out very well, reminding us that we are in the year of revival, calling on unity, and where specifically talks about the public-private partnership in terms of moving the region and the nation forward. Yeah. The governor then went ahead, highlighted what has happened towards the youth, the kind of schemes that they're putting on the youth. Yeah. We went on to naming some social safety nets, yes, and then went into education a bit. The only thing I did not get from the governor, which I'm still worried about, is that we have some figures being floated, but we still don't have the census. Yeah. So the accuracy of these figures, they could be misleading, and the fact that we are planning going ahead with figures that are not yet clarified as per statistics. So the caution here would be, what would happen if the statistics, which is the census which is about to take place, changes everything else? Are we going back to the drawing board? It's a question, but nothing really new. Yeah. Of course, what I like about this kind of sessions is that the governor is reporting back, yes, to what they had planned to do, yes, what they have achieved, and of course, what needs to be done going forward. Again, that's also where the governor fell short, that I did not hear anything concrete forward, about what do we do going forward. Yeah. We know things are very tough. Others are still thinking that we could be going into recession. Yes. We've seen food prices, house prices of houses going up. So things are tough, but again, that unity that she calls for at the beginning of her opening statement, yes, is very important. Very much. Let's unite and we shall succeed together.
Of course, as you rightfully put it there, just echoing the president's theme for this year, the year of revival. How does this particular speech measure up to that of the president? And as per the contents of that speech, does it sound like the year of revival as per the Khomas Regional Council?
Of course it is. Remember, the president is accountable to the whole nation. The governor is accountable to the people of the region. So they have to speak the same language, which I like very much, in that we are speaking in the same, we are walking in the same direction, speaking the same language. Ideally, we would have expected more to have been done, but surely there are constraints. And she acknowledged those constraints. So the speech was well articulated, and surely we need to heed for the call of unity, unity, unity.
And of course, you set a very interesting precedent for the rest of the 13 regions. We'll also be delivering their SORAs over the next few weeks or so. Ida, I want to get your take on the just delivered State of the Region address by Governor McLeod Kashirwa. What did you make of, the overall contents of the speech here?
The overall content was pretty good, and she touched on different factors like the health factors, the infrastructure, the economic, but then looking at the figures, especially when it comes to like the jobs that were created, like around 400 plus or minus, but it's it just shows that we still have a long way to go, because if you can look at the unemployment rate, we have like thousands and thousands of graduates every single year, but how do we accommodate them if only job creations are like 400 plus or minus 400 done in one financial year? Yeah.
Of course, a lot of exciting undertakings as well as far as youth are concerned. Earlier on, we spoke about the high unemployment rate, how big of a concern that is. We also heard a lot of money being pumped into youth projects, youth-targeted projects. We also see, of course, the credit guarantee scheme where youth can tap into capital through various financial institutions, be it your banks, be it the Development Bank of Namibia. What do you make of that as far as these projects are concerned, and do we see these investments actually come out to the fore?
Well, personally, I believe when it comes to like banks, it's it. How will it accommodate the youth, especially if you're unemployed? I mean, first and foremost, you don't have collateral, so how will you qualify for this benefit? So it doesn't really cater for us, especially if you are unemployed, and yeah.
We'll all of course go into your specific sector very soon, which is agriculture, something you're very passionate about. Lambert, just continuing, on that particular aspect. I see many banks, many institutions, and government in itself, has really made a concerted effort towards accommodating entrepreneurs, especially in the wake of a lack of collateral. But is this enough? Just as I asked, Ida, are we seeing these investments on the ground? Are we seeing their returns, so to say?
Of course, what we are being told is that all these nice things are available there on the table for the youth to take. But the honest truth, what the youth are saying is that the requirements that are put by the banks are things that they cannot meet. It's high time, like we're calling on Unity, the Triple P, why can't we have a chat with the banks and tell them, in reality, this is what is happening in the ground. Why can't we combine forces to help our youth? If somebody is very innovative enough, and we can see that this thing can actually make money, create jobs in the next 2, 3, 5 years, why then don't we have a way of saying, we will give you a step-by-step collateral whereby I do not ask you this huge chunk of collateral at the beginning, but as you progress, you keep on providing evidence that you are able to repay. These are the issues. But now remember, the banks borrow from the central bank. If the central bank increases the rate, the banks are feeling the pain. Yes. For the bank to continue servicing their loan, it's me and you that they will have to pass on the burden to. A very spiraling effect, which is very difficult to deal with, a situation that will have to be looked at very carefully. We need to find ways of looking at the local production. Can we subsidize production? Because subsidizing consumption becomes very difficult. Why are the prices of goods very high in the shop? Remember, if you import milk, you need to refrigerate that milk. Just recently, Electricity Control Board hiked the prices of electricity, the electricity tariff. Therefore, you have to pay more on electricity. There are so many interconnected issues that I still expect the Honorable Governor, the players in the industry and the government in general to sit down round the table. These are discussions we should be having, honestly. It's our own people, and if we are really saying that Namibia is for the youth, then we have to build the youth now for Namibia.
Very much. I see the governor is right behind you. I hope she does not beat you or anything of the sort, Lamek. Of course, I'll come to you shortly in a bit when we talk about, some of the social safety nets, which I think, have done fairly well in the Khomas region. Ida, when you look at, for instance, agriculture, you've repeatedly spoken about the positive potential impact that agriculture could have on, the Namibian youth. We've seen a number of projects. We've seen a number of investments ranging in the millions. We talk about 1.5 million in the SME support program, for instance, for 182 projects. But none of them specifically and directly speak to agriculture. We know of one project, the Apple project, but have we done enough to invest in this particular sector?
Coming from the agriculture sector, I believe when it comes to these projects, more funding needs to be available because when it comes to agriculture, it's more sustainable compared to catering and the kindergarten that they fund. But if you can fund like the agriculture sector when it comes to smallholder farmers, you are empowering a community. When it comes to food security, you are empowering mentorship and also job creation. Because when we grow our own vegetables, we can also recruit more youth. And it's also sustainable for the long run because we own this land and it's for future generation.
Earlier we spoke about, what's perceived as a shortage of land as far as agricultural activity, especially here in the Khomas region, is concerned. As somebody who's well versed with the industry, with the sector, what advice do you perhaps have for not only the youth this morning or this afternoon almost, but also particularly the leadership as far as ways we can work around to ensure that people can exercise this particular activity, even in the wake of a shortage of land here?
Yes, indeed. Land, as we know, it's a big issue, especially in our region. So what we can do is empower our youth with urban agriculture. Like, you don't necessarily need a huge land to farm. You can do it in your backyard. I mean, like in the informal settlements, they can set up their own garden and grow their own vegetables, and you can grow from there. As they say, you need to start somewhere. I mean, if you want to venture in the agribusiness and you want to grow vegetables, so you need to start with also what you have, and also empower on smart agriculture, you know, with yeah,
New technology.
yeah, with new technology
Yeah,
like horticulture, you know,
and aquaponics,
yeah,
et cetera, et cetera.
aquaponics, and that where you don't really need a lot of water. As we know, water is a huge problem in our country, but when it comes to shade nets and hydroponics, you don't really need a lot of water. So how can we look into that when it comes to investments with the regional government?
Absolutely. Lamek, do you have anything to comment? Perhaps alternative economic activities that we can look into?
Of course, agriculture is the way forward.
Yeah.
And not only in Namibia, that has become an African problem. So we need to take lead in making agriculture be, let's get agriculture to be attractive to the youth.
Yeah.
Currently, the youth only think of agriculture as for older people who have retired.
I think they have a saying, we must make agriculture sexy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if we can do that, and of course, some of these things we need to put in some funding.
True.
Let's look at people who have got innovative ideas. How do we compensate them for their good ways of thinking?
Yeah.
We could start up with things like competition. If you have an innovative way of doing agriculture, we could fund you. Our institutions of higher learning, let's bring in more things to do with agriculture.
Absolutely.
Because green hydrogen just came in the other day, but we're already in that space.
Yeah.
Agriculture.
And it's such a long-term plan.
It's such a long-term plan.
Yeah.
Agriculture could solve many of our immediate problems in terms of food security. And if we could concentrate on it in the next 1 to 2 years, those are the low-hanging fruits that we could quickly pluck when we start in the right way.
Absolutely. Of course, we must commend the regional leadership in terms of, as far as overseas orphans and vulnerable children are concerned, and also the broader, social safety nets that they have introduced and continue to carry out as per the broader government's objectives. When you look at, for instance, the conditional basic income grant, which basically been transformed from the food bank to this new grant, 2.7 million invested in that. Just talk to us about, as far as social safety nets are concerned. What do you make of that, especially in these trying times?
Of course, those social safety nets have got a big role to play. What I was really happy about that the regional governor mentioned is that the conditional BIG that is currently only benefiting those who are under the food bank,
yes.
They're looking at a way of
Expanding it,
modernizing it to expand it to include other people. That's a very good way to go. We understand we've got these people who are living with disabilities. We need to support them. We've got our older parents, our older grandfathers. We still need to support them. And there I commend the regional council under the leadership of the honorable governor that they've done so well. They've looked out for these people. And again, if we go to the opening statement of unity, public-private partnership, we can still do more. Absolutely. And I think that's what the governor could have been thinking at the back of her mind, that if we bring more people on board, we can still do much more rather than just restricting everything to the regional council and leaving everybody out of the game plan.
Absolutely. If you had an opportunity to perhaps provide 1 or 2 inputs to the governor prior to the statement, and even going forward, what do you think would be your input, your advice, Ida, as we round up this morning's conversation here?
Collaboration is key. Work with those who work on the grassroots, like the NGOs that know and can identify, the problems that are already at baseline, and also action. Like we are the youth, we are unemployed, but we need action. Yes, there's implementation, there's policies, but we need job creation right now. Absolutely. So basically, we need action.
Absolutely. Mr. Odada, before I let you go, if you were a special advisor, what would you advise?
Now, I would. There is a very famous saying that President Hage says that we have heard you.
Yes.
I think the governor should also adopt that slogan. Go to the ground, listen to the people, come and let's implement together. The governor has now put up a platform out there to say, we are willing to collaborate, let's unite, let us work together.
Absolutely.
And my advice would still be continue in calling on everybody to come around the table. Let's talk and see how we can improve the livelihoods of the people of our region.
Absolutely. Okay, Lamaka Dada, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Miss Ida Nakatana, thank you for being
Thank
with
you.
us. We truly appreciate it. Of course, there you have it. The first of 14 State of the Region addresses ticked off here in the capital as Governor Laura McLeod Kashirwa of the Khomas region, of course, just delivered her SORA statement a few moments ago, giving an overview of the state of affairs here in the Khomas region. Next week, Monday, we go to the Ohangwena region, where Governor Valden Devashia will also deliver his State of the Region address, as of course governors account for matters within their regions. Remember, this is as per the Constitution, and of course they fall under the office of the President, so it's all eyes on the eyes and ears of the presidency. Of course, continue to watch NBC as we bring you all of these engagements and more right here on our various platforms at Stellar Vision Radio and social media. But from me, Ndishisha Mfungo, and the entire crew, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.